Greece, renowned as the cradle of Western civilization and home of timeless wonders, continues to unveil mysteries of the ancient world. As we shall soon see, these include the story of one of humankind's earliest ancestors, Graecopithecus. Discovery near Athens. Tikanetekaria, Bogiste, Milo licho elidika, ev Aristopoli, osh eskemin sume. Pyrgos Basilisas, also known as Queen's Tower Estate, is a historic landmark near Athens, celebrated for its architectural charm and its role in advancing Greek culture. By mid-1944, as the war was nearing its end, German troops retreated to the area to stage a final stand against the advancing Allied forces. The German troops were building fortifications into the embankments to support heavy artillery placements. Paleontologist Bruno von Freyberg was assigned to the German unit in Athens, presumably to offer counsel to the development of embankments and fortifications within the hilly terrain. One of the German soldiers discovered what seemed to be a monkey's mandible and handed it over to von Freyberg. Archaeology News Network. An ancient jaw was discovered in 1944 in Pyrgos. Nobody really paid attention to the fossil, as the casualties in Greece from World War II were so catastrophic. The discovery was literally ignored. Some sources have alluded to anecdotal evidence that the Graecopithecus mandible was placed in a basket in a Greek museum and forgotten about after the war. Official species classification. Gustav von Koningswald, a distinguished Dutch paleontologist, collaborated with his friend Franz Weidenreich to study and classify the Peking man fossils known as Homo erectus in 1939. As a Dutch citizen, von Koningswald was thrown into a Japanese POW camp in Indonesia the following year. Following his liberation from the prison camp, von Koningswald resumed his global quest to uncover the elusive missing link. The circumstances of how von K learned of the Greek mandible remain unknown. It is likely he was reviewing old museum collections. In 1972, after examining the mandible, von K identified the new hominid species, Graecopithecus freybergi, acknowledging its Greek roots and discoverer von Freyberg. Bulgaria. In 2012, a team of archaeologists had been working in an abandoned quarry near Sofia. The Esmaka Quarry is located south of the capital of Sofia. Archaeology News Network. Nikolai Spassiv from the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences and their colleagues examined both the Pyrgos fossil and the related upper premolar tooth. After 5 years of investigation, including extensive measurements and micro-CT imaging, Spassiv and his team found that the tooth was likely linked to the Graecopithecus mandible from Greece. Science Daily. The research team dated the sedimentary sequence of the Graecopithecus fossil sites in Greece and Bulgaria with physical methods and got a nearly synchronous age for both fossils. 7.24 and 7.175 million years before present. New species unveiled. When the discovery and analysis were announced in 2017, there was a flurry of media attention. The press dubbed Graecopithecus, quote-unquote, the missing link. London Telegraph. Europe was the birthplace of mankind, not Africa, scientists find. From the Telegraph, 2017, 2 fossils of an ape-like creature, which had human-like teeth, have been found in Bulgaria and Greece, dating to 7.2 million years ago. It is uncertain who gave Graecopithecus its whimsical moniker El Graeco. It is likely the scientists named the species Graeco. It is also likely that the press added El to give it more flair, though this is unconfirmed. El Graeco, born Domenikos Theotokopoulos, was born on the island of Crete in 1541. He was a masterful painter, sculptor, and architect of the Spanish Renaissance. Trained in the traditions of Byzantine art, he later absorbed the influences of the Venetian Renaissance. Climate change in the Miocene epoch. During the Miocene epoch, Europe experienced dynamic climatic shifts that fostered diverse ape populations, setting the stage for the eventual radiation of Miocene ape species beyond southern Europe. The epoch known as the Mid-Milesian was an era of great extinction of various mammalian species. Balkan and Anatolian Miocene apes 12 million years ago to 6 million years ago. Australopithecus 10.7 million years ago. Australopithecus was discovered in the late 1970s by a pair of French paleontologists working in the Axios Valley of Macedonia. Dryopithecus 11.1 to 10 million years ago. Danuyvius and the Mainz Miocene ape, both Dryopithecines from southern Germany, exhibit shared traits indicating their lineage flourished in Europe 12 to 9 million years ago. Anadoluvius 9.7 million years ago. Anadoluvius, the newest discovery among the Euro-Miocene apes, announced in 2023, boasts fossil specimens that are shockingly well preserved. Graecopithecus. The paper on Graecopithecus was released in 2017. It included 4 authors: Nikolai Spassiv, Professor Begun of the University of Toronto, and Jacques Fuss and Madelaine Bohm of the University of Tübingen in Germany. Frequent viewers will know the University of Tübingen as the base of paleoanthropologist Katerina Harvati, who challenged the recent out-of-Africa theory with the Epidema 1 fossil discovery in Greece dated 210,000 years ago. David Begun, professor of evolutionary biology at the University of Toronto and a worldwide expert on Miocene apes, contributed his expertise, helping to analyze and contextualize the findings. Begun is regarded as a somewhat polarizing figure in paleoanthropology. For decades, he has boldly challenged established models like out of Africa, igniting debates that strike at the very core of evolutionary theory. Abstract canal morphology shows features that point to a possible phylogenetic affinity with hominins. Continuing, Graecopithecus shares derived characters with African apes, ventrally shallow roots, bucolingually broad molar roots. Continuing, therefore, we consider four principal alternative interpretations of its phylogenetic position. Graecopithecus is a stem hominine, last common ancestor of African apes and Homo, a gorillan, a panin, or a hominin. Note, the authors do suggest the possibility that Graecopithecus is an early European chimpanzee. David Bagoon, Princeton Press, 2017, quote, "Our discoveries of Graecopithecus outline a new scenario for the beginning of human history," end quote. Graeco's anatomy. Euro-Miocene apes and Afro-Australopithecines exhibit remarkable anatomical similarities, especially in traits for arboreal movement such as curved phalanges. Additionally, some Miocene apes and Australopithecines share elongated limbs, particularly arms, which are adaptations for climbing. The Miocene ape canines are smaller and the shape is more similar to Australopithecines than to African apes. This is a strong indication of a possible direct lineage to Australopithecines. In the 2023 paper on Anadoluvius, the authors point out that the Euro-Miocene apes had smaller canines comparable to those of Australopithecines in East Africa from 4.2 to 1.9 million years ago. The Archaeologist, 2023. Graecopithecus from adjacent Greece and Bulgaria and Anadoluvius are a group that most closely resembles the earliest known hominins. Bridging the gap 10,000 million years ago to 6 million years ago. In 1960, Louis Leakey and his team uncovered fossils of Kenyapithecus in eastern Kenya, a Miocene ape thought to be a pivotal ancestor of both chimpanzees and gorillas, shaping our understanding of primate evolution. Curiously, there is an extreme paucity of fossil evidence in Africa after Kenyapithecus, starting around 10 million years ago. Sahelanthropus chidensis and Orion tugenensis are the next to emerge in a fossil record appearing 5 to 6 million years ago. Tracing the trail of the last common ancestor. The lack of fossil evidence in Africa from 10 million years ago to the rise of Sahelanthropus at 6 million years ago indicates a significant 4 to 5 million year gap. A compelling scenario begins to unfold where a Euro-Miocene ape gave rise to the earliest hominid lineages in Africa, including Sahel, Orion, the Ardipithecines, and the Australopithecines. In the context of paleoanthropology, this phenomenon is referred to as irradiation. A species arises within a specific ecological niche, and owing to its enhanced adaptability, broadens its geographical distribution. Taken into account spatial and temporal factors, Graecopithecus emerges as the most formidable candidate among the Euro-Miocene apes for southward expansion. Challenging the strict African origins model. Quote, "Ever since Darwin, conventional wisdom is that the last common ancestor of chimpanzees and humans lived in Africa. Our research shows that the earliest humans may have evolved in Europe." End quote. David Bagoon. Quote, "I personally don't think that the descendants of Graecopithecus die out. They may have spread to Africa later. the split of chimps and humans, our data support the view that this split was happening in the eastern Mediterranean, not in Africa, end quote. Madelaine Bohm, London Telegraph. Ancient Origins 2023, quote, our findings suggest that hominins not only evolved in Europe, but spent over 5 million years evolving there and spreading to the eastern Mediterranean before eventually dispersing into Africa, end quote, said David Bagoon, University of Toronto. In sum, the Graeco moves southward as last common ancestor hypothesis suggests a scenario in which Miocene apes from Europe migrated southward as a result of a climatic shift, potentially giving rise to the hominid lineage in Africa. Headline: Sky News 2017. Missing link may have been European, not African, ancient fossils suggest. With headlines like this from Sky News in 2017, it is easy to see how out of Africa proponents might get their feathers ruffled. In the months following the release of the preprint, there was some major pushback from African origins only model proponents. NewScientist.com 2017. Tim White, Australopithecus co-discoverer of the University of California, Berkeley, says the new research, quote, tries to resurrect Bagoon's tired argument with a long-known crappy fossil newly scanned, end quote. Others, while acknowledging the importance of the Graeco mandible and tooth, expressed skepticism about the claim that Graecopithecus could be the last common ancestor of African apes and humans. New Scientist David Alba at the Catalan Institute of Paleontology in Barcelona, Spain, says there is value to the new work, but he says David Bagoon has been arguing for 20 years that the great apes first appeared in Europe. Quote, it is not surprising at all that Bagoon is now arguing that hominids as well originated in Europe, end quote. Earth.com, Chris Stringer at the Natural History Museum in London believes that the narrative remains largely unchanged. Quote, this has been a long-running debate regarding great ape and our origins, end quote, said Professor Stringer. New evidence from Greece. Most recently, even stronger evidence has emerged. 6 million year old Miocene ape footprints have been found on an isolated beach in Crete, Greece. Smithsonian. Paleontologist Gerard Jaralinski of Poland discovered the tracks on a beach near the village of Trachilos while on vacation in western Crete in 2002. Scientific Reports 2023. Age constraints for the Trichilos footprints from Crete. The Trichilos footprints are believed to be the oldest known of the hominids, older than Australopithecus afarensis at Liatoli, Tanzania, 3.2 million years ago. Most scientists theorize that the footprints are indeed from El Graeco. Smithsonian. The footprints could upend scientists' understanding of how early humans evolved away from Africa to Mediterranean Europe. Researchers say it's possible the bipedal creature who made the marks was Graecopithecus, a human ancestor discovered in 1944. The island of Crete. Back in 2017, when researchers named Graecopithecus freybergi, playfully nicknamed El Graeco, they could have never predicted the twist awaiting them 6 years later. The irony. In 2023, 6 million year old bipedal footprints of Graecopithecus were unearthed in Crete. the very birthplace of El Greco. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.